I have once again lost a file. I swear my equipment is driving me insane, but it is time for the flip through of Just Journal. Look at that cute sticker. Also, there will be Wednesday. And there will be timestamps, so you can totally just go to the part you want to see if you're not here for the journaling. So yeah, let's get into it. This is a journal that ran from somewhere in April last year to Halloween was the last entry. Well, is the last entry. And then I have another one, which will have for a next video. And that will sort of be the same story. So yeah, let's go into this one first, because this is the first of the journals I have not yet shown you. This sticker is by Tomatia, and she makes the cutest stickers. I love her void. And this one says brain.exe loading. See, so fun. I love her stickers. I love them for like journal covers as well. This is a regular size Travelers Company insert, and yeah, I just have it like this. I think we all know what the covers look like. Mine's just a dark brown one. So I mean, these guys, I have it here. This is the cover, but I took it out for the purposes of this video. It makes things just a little bit easier. So yeah, let's get into it. First up, I have this random spreads that I did. Sometimes I do these, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just get straight into journaling. And if you see something and I don't say where it's from, don't hesitate to leave me a comment and ask, and I will get back to you and obviously tell you if I remember, which I likely will. This is a notepad that my friend Ness gave me, and I really like them. I've got several ones. I think I've got at least one more in this journal. And yeah, you could write on the back once upon a time, but I glued it in, so obviously now you can't. I really love these. They're so fun. She has the best ephemera and stickers and whatnots, and I will absolutely link to her channel down below, so you can all go have a look. This was from the very first time I went to Comic Con Holland, and it was really fun. We went to the 's-Hertogenbosch one, and that is like, I love the venue they have it in as well, but it was like so fun. And I went with my husband and my friend Valentine, and we had such a good time, and we made a lot of fun photos, and that was where I met Ross for the first time. And it was really funny because we were waiting to meet John Rhys Davies at his signing station, because he had not come out yet. Words. I'm very brain fuzzed today. What else is new? But yeah, we were waiting to I wanted to give him some chocolate, and Valentine wanted to give him some art, because she does like amazing Gimli art. I'm going to check with her if she's okay with me putting it up on screen, and if she is, I will have it up on screen, and else if she has it on Instagram, I will link to the post. But in any case, you will see some Gimli art because I have some stickers by her in here. But yeah, anyway, I digress. So we were waiting for John to come out, and Ross came out of the green room, and it was like the area where you could walk behind all the tables where the artists are. And I saw his X-Men t-shirt, and I was like, "Oh, I love your t-shirt." And he was like, "Oh, thank you." I was like, "Are you watching X-Men 97?" Because at that point, I think 2 or 3 episodes were out. I'm not sure, maybe a few more. And he was like, "Oh, I'm in it." And I was like, "Oh yeah, which character are you?" And he was saying that he was doing the voice of Charles Xavier, and we were talking about it, and then we just like randomly geeking about stuff. And afterwards, I went over to him and I gave him some chocolate, and we filmed a little reel where he did Charles Xavier's voice. I will have it in the description because it was so fun. And yeah, it was a really good time. And this is Silas. His company, Phototainer, takes all the pictures when you have a photo ticket to meet a actor or a voice actor or an artist, a guest. And I'm not sure if Silas took this picture of Bert and John Rhys Davies or not. But if it wasn't Silas, it was somebody on his staff. So I don't see Silas every event because it's usually hard at work. But yeah, I'm always happy to see him because he's a cool guy. And Yeah, and they also had a fake graveyard. I think it was the Vampire Diaries one. And of course, I had to take Bert had to take my outfit shot in the fake graveyard. And whenever Mjolnir's there, I'm always like, I'm still not worthy. And Valentine was like, yeah, let's take a picture together. I mean, I don't remember whose idea it was. It was either mine or Valentine. And then John Rhys Davies told Bert, and I wrote this down, "Sir, you have a very impressive beard." And I thought that was funny, so I wrote it down. And then these are stickers by Valentine. And I love this sticker of Gimli with his axe. And yeah, and this was like a bit of my crew bracelet, and it's just like a little spread, a little tiny, barely a spread on the back of this photo. And then this is my halfway to Halloween spread, also barely a spread, but I still like this page. I think it's fun. This is by Kelly Lou. This was, I think, gifted to me by my friend Jess, and this is definitely from some stickers. Well, my friend Ness sent me these, and she had like a whole strip of them, so I really love these. And I think this is from a washi sampler my friend Marsh made me. So yeah, I love including stuff that my friends give me. And this is my April spread. I like to just like put some photos of the month in the well, just like some random photos and just stick the month with them. But yeah, I went to see Abigail with Bert, and we quite enjoyed it. But what the hell was Matthew Good doing as father? He's such a good actor, but father, that fell flat for me. I kind of hope they do another movie with Abigail, but they should probably hurry, because people age, and I think the actress will, the amount of time that she's young enough to play Abigail, because vampires don't age, is slim. That window is slim. So they should get on with it. Also, maybe brief Matthew Good on playing Dracula, crying out loud. I digress. I will not get into that rant. I went into that rant my previous video, literally my previous video. So if you want to hear me rant about Matthew Good as father, just check that one out. This was on April 30th, like right at the end of the month, my rollator arrived, my walker, and it was, as you can see, a giant box. So I have a picture of when it was still in the box. And yeah, and this is Joop, incredibly unimpressed at me frogging my attempt at the Blood sweater. That was the first time I tried knitting a sweater, but the thing is, I wasn't that good at short rows yet, and I wasn't that good at making, make one right, make one left. I am now, so I should just tackle it again at some point. But there's a couple of other things I want to knit first, so I am going to do that. But I was frogging it, and Joop was like, "What the hell are you doing? Why?" He was so unimpressed with me. And yeah, so this was just some random Star Wars Day things, because it was actual Star Wars weekend, if I'm not mistaken. May the 4th was on Saturday, and then Revenge of the 5th, Revenge of the Sith, was on the Sunday. So I did a spread with some pictures that Beth took of me, and this is a throwback picture when we met Darth Vader at Disneyland Paris many years ago. So yeah, it's just a random spread. And then this is Comic Con Brussels, which was, I think, 2 weeks after Comic Con Holland. And then I met Ross again, and we took this really funny picture together, and we filmed another reel, so I did give him more chocolate. So yeah, it was really fun. This was when my friend Xavier just had his new werewolf. He has this stand at conventions. He also sells horror merch, but he also has these real life horror character figures that you could take pictures pictures of. And this is me and Valentine taking another silly picture. And it was the Lord of the Rings edition, because they had John Rhys Davies as a guest, because here's another Gimli sticker. And they also had all four horror gods, Hobbit actors, as well as Andy Serkis. So it was very Lord of the Ringsy, and they had a Hobbit house you could take pictures at, and of course I had to, and I'm holding, you probably can't tell in this tiny picture, but I'm holding Gimli's axe, well, the replica axe that Bert has from Noble Collection. So he actually had that signed, and then we took it into the, I don't know, is this a signed side. No, it's not. I just had to check. But yeah, we took it in to get a picture taken with John, and it was very funny because he was like, "Give me that axe, boy," and he was like pretending that there were orcs and they were gonna attack us, and I was like, "Ah, no, orcs!" And Bert just like couldn't stop laughing. So it probably looks a lot more silly, especially my pose, if you don't know the story behind it, but I look at it and I laugh. So yeah. It's a good time. And here is my crew bracelet. I stopped sticking in crew bracelets now because they're just always like kind of flapping kind of randomly. And yeah, so I also met Harvey Guillen, which was really, really fun. He's so nice. And his sister Amada is amazing. Like, she's one of the just like, she's just such an awesome human being. I love her. So yeah, we hung around and it was so fun. And I mean, my convention was like 70,000 times better because of like all the absolutely lovely, fabulous people, not just Amada and Harvey and Ross and crew members that aren't pictured and my friends, but just like, it was such a warm, fun convention despite it being boiling hot, and my heart was so full after it. So yeah, it was awesome times, and that was my spread. And these are just some random May pictures. We call these guys dagbouwoog. I know they're peacock butterflies in English, but we call them dagbouwoog. And this was one of the... we always do like random IKEA selfies together when Bert and I are in IKEA. We had a random foxglove plant that showed up out of nowhere in our garden last year, which was amazing. Sadly, it did not come back this year, but alas. But I enjoyed it when we had it. And this was May the 1st, the very first time I took out my walker. I took it hiking. It's actually made to go hiking with and stuff. It's the Bi-Acre Carbon Overland. And it was fine as long as it was like ankle deep mud, which is fine because it sucks even if you don't have a mobility aid. But at one point there was a fallen tree across the road, and it was fairly wide, so I left my rollator on it and I went around and then took a picture and then lifted it off because it was just such a daft situation. And yeah, so I just did that. And this white blob is my overskirt because it kept on getting stuck in the wheels, so I took it off. And yeah, I was very glad I wasn't wearing a very long skirt. I'm not sure if just a very long skirt, because it doesn't flap around like an overskirt does, would be an equally big problem, but I've not actually tested it. I've tested it with pretty long skirts and that was fine, so maybe it would be. I've not worn an overskirt again when using my rollator though. Well, my walker, because they're called walkers in English, aren't they? And this is just some pictures from a random afternoon in Antwerp. This was when I got that washi at the Wii U, and we saw some really cool art on shop windows and like at refurbishments and on the, you know, the outside wall. And then this fun toucan they were selling at Stadley Stationery. And then we have burgers. So the reason I have a plastic card here is because I have a voting document. The document you get in the mail that tells you where you need to go vote, what date, what to bring, etc, etc. It's under here, and I'm not entirely sure in how far it's legal to show them online. So I'm just like not gonna take any chances, and I've put this really fun Travelers Company plastic card on there. I get these every year. I really liked it this year with like the red one with the travel themed one, but I also like this one a lot. Like I said, I get them every year. I've got loads. I've got this one, and then this one, and then this one. I don't know what year is what, other than like this is very obviously 2022, but the other ones are a little bit more subtle, so they live here for when I need them. Well, the one of this year's one is in another journal, so I used them. But anyway, this was like a random Sunday afternoon that we went to the cemetery, our local big cemetery, which is a cemetery specifically set up to hang out. And there actually were people hanging out, and they had the cutest little doggo with one floppy ear. And I've encountered him a couple of more times after that, and he is the sweetest. And they have lots of gorgeous flowers, like a couple of months ago it was full of cherry blossoms and other blossoms, and it's just amazing. But yeah, I love this scarlet bee balm. Also, I'm eagerly awaiting for the yucca flowers to get in bloom because they smell like key lime pie and I really like them. So yeah, I like to go to the cemetery. And then, yeah, still hiding that document. And then this is just a wrapper of the Pokemon card I bought when we went to Hasselt for a day. There was cool street art. I was knitting on the train and waiting for food and stuff like that. And I bought some knitting journals. And also these really cool vintage, like antique photos. Super amazing. And then this is from Dylan and Camilla. Dylan and Camilla is like this really kind of vintagey style. Not really. They have like things, like also really handy things. A lot of ecologically responsible stuff and just like home decor things and like a few toys, a little bit of art supplies. They have a lot of different things, but it's a really awesome shop and I love going there. I hear Salem. Salem, wat is er? It's just screaming for no reason. I can't even tell if you guys heard him, but I heard him. And then I randomly went into Primark because we wanted to get kitchen towels. Because we use ours till they're dead. So we just get the cheap ones from Primark as they're actually really good. So we don't really see why we should pay more for the same thing that will last the same amount of time just because it's not from Primark. So we get them at Primark. But there was very randomly the Bridgerton teapot. There was not a single other Bridgerton item in sight but the teapot. So I grabbed the teapot and as soon as I came home, I went next door to my friend Jessie and I was like, I have a teapot for you. And she was really happy with it. And afterwards we went to Antwerp together to hunt down, because at that point the collection had proper come out, to hunt down more pieces, but we had zero luck, alas. So at least she has the teapot, because I stumbled upon it by utter and total accident. So that was great. I'm happy I found that because I got to make her happy. So yay! I'm not personally like a huge Bridgerton fan. I mean, I watch it and it's fun, but I'm not like mega hype about it. But I like the costumes. Even though they're not historically accurate, I still like the costumes and some of the music. But yeah, I digress. This is Summerween. Summerween is coming up. It's in 2 weeks. Because I go by Gravity Fall dates. And that is the second to last Friday of June. So yeah, Summerween, and that was my spread. I love these Buffy stickers. They're from a sheet from Hobbycraft that my bestie gave me a few years ago. And when she was visiting early last month, I was like, Charlotte, if Hobbycraft has these again this year, will you buy me another sheet, please? And she was like, yeah, sure, no problem. And now I'm like, come on, Hobbycraft. And this is a block print that I did myself. I printed in green. Well, obviously I first carved it, and then I went in with some green Kuretake Gansai Tambi, and then the pink is a fountain pen ink. It's probably a diamine one. I think it might actually be something along the line of Wistful Watermelon. I will have it up on screen. I think it's that one. It's a gold Pens exclusive, I think. So yeah, and I had this. I will have a bigger picture up on screen so you can actually see it properly. I had this Mank candy brain from Tiger, and it was supposedly strawberry flavor, because I feel like most candy at Tiger is strawberry flavor. I don't really eat the candy at Tiger, but I could not resist the brain. Well, no, I eat some of the candy at Tiger. They do have some things I like, and for some reason I can't actually remember, other than the ghost chips / crisps, depending on where you live. Depending on where you live, whether you use chips or crisps. Anyway, I digress. But yeah, I got it because I was like, oh, that looks so mank. That looks actually so good for pictures. I'm just gonna use this for pictures and eat it afterwards. But it was so sticky, disgusting that I ended up throwing it away because nobody wanted to eat it. I tried some of the jelly and I was just like, if I eat this, I will be so sick. It tasted like toxic sugar glue, basically. That's the best description I can give for it. But yeah, I did have a lot of fun taking those photos though. I'm not sure if Beth had a lot of fun making them, I mean taking them off me, but I digress. And then end of the month we went to Ypres for 2 days, and it started raining like really badly. So if you can hear the rain because I'm sitting right by a window, I do apologize. But yeah, we went to Ypres. It was boiling hot. There was ice cream. That was good. I had blood orange ice cream. And yeah, we stayed at the Ariane Hotel and they had free postcards. So I took the postcards. And yeah, the first day we went to In Flanders Field and just explored the city. And yeah, and then we had a dinner in the hotel. And as Ypres is a town very well known for being one of the main battle areas in the Westhoek. Well, that part of Belgium is called the Westhoek. And there was a lot of fighting happening during World War I. So there's a lot of monuments to it, like the Menepoort, and a lot of war cemeteries. And this is just a random picture of a shop in town because I loved that they had like all these flowers, fake flowers, and the froggy. And I was like, that's just so fun. But yeah, the poppy is, of course, one of the symbols. And I had this card that came with an order, and I can't remember what journaling shop it came with, but I stuck that in there because of poppies. And this was from just like a little like local newspaper they handed out, and this is just a free plan because there's free plans of Ypres everywhere. So I cut it up to make tip-ins and like extra pages because it seemed like fun to have a little bit of the map. And then the same with this because I just really loved how the building looked with the sky like that. And this was our view from the hotel room. Actually, I will say that if you are in Ypres and you're actually going for the war history, I would absolutely recommend going into the Hotel Ariane because they have a lot of display cases with uniforms and medals and insignia and whatnot. And their lighting during the day is way better because it's all natural light versus the mood lighting in Flanders Fields. Because I mean, the setup of the museum itself is like, pretty well done, but the lighting is very dim, so it makes it hard to see details on a lot of things, whereas here you can actually see things properly. So yeah, that's just something I'm mentioning along the way. And yeah, some buildings. This was a graveyard we visited that was right by the hotel, like 2 minutes walk. And another postcard. This is also the Menepoort, if I'm not mistaken. And then these are some tip-ins. I'm not entirely sure how well I can show them to you because they're quite big. And my camera doesn't really zoom out all that much. Yeah, success. So this is from a... what are they called in English again? Stained glass window, glass in lead. In the council hall of the Ypres Museum. I guess it was, you know, from before the building became a museum. So yeah, I took that because free ephemera and I'm a hamster. Also, it's fun to look back on these things. And then I also have a coloring page. And this is like a riddle thing, I think. I'm not sure. Yeah. Yeah, it's like something for kids that they can go and look for clues and stuff, I think. I've not properly read it, so I might just be talking nonsense. And then this, I'm going to try and have this properly in frame, because I will have to flip the frame as it's filmed. But yeah, this is a color by numbers, and these are like the colors. I'm assuming the colors that were in the window actually, as is. But I mean, I have no idea at this point because it's been a while. And I'm not sure if I have a picture of the actual window. But yeah, it's a color by numbers and it's pretty fun. I took one and yeah, it's here now. I tip in the most random things. And I apparently also don't know what way up is up on my journal. But yeah, we were there for this expo. Vrolijk, vrij en vunzig. The Middle Ages. What is veelzijdig in English? It's like a multifaceted discovery, so to speak. And I saw a lot of advertisements for it. Like on a walk that we were doing in the city park of Yper, they had like literally this cube thing that you could turn around and it had art on all the sides and it was like super fun. And I was like, well, if they put in that much effort and if the ads are that fun, the expo surely will be great. It was a disappointment, but there was a lot of fun stuff in the museum, so it was alright. Saw a lot of beautiful art, so that was fun. And some of this is Bert. He's like this tiny compared to one of the parade puppets, so stuff like that. And also a lot of about their history as wool merchants and stuff like that, and how they would actually treat the wool as to make it, spin it from the fiber into wool and whatnot, and the way they did it back then. So that was all cool. And yeah, and this was right before we went home. We went to one more cemetery, and that was specifically a French cemetery. And the cemeteries are in the most random spots. Like they can be literally in the city center, amongst the houses and stuff, but this was by this big busy road, and you had to like park your car by the road, at the side of the road, and then you had to go into this gravel path. So the accessibility of that graveyard was pretty much nil. You had to go down this gravel path, literally behind people's backyards, like in between backyards and fields. That was where the cemetery was. So they're literally all over town. So yeah, there's that. No, I think this one was by the road. The one we went before that was like squished in between backyards, and this was properly by the road, not squished in between backyards. Nearly got that one wrong. And then this is from when my friend Claire and I went to Antwerp, and we had Japanese food at Umi, and she gave me a bag of peppermint toads that she had, a box, it's not really a bag, that she had brought back from London. And yeah, and I forgot to take pictures, so I just painted bits. And this is a sticker, because I bought postcards at MoMu at the fashion museum, and the sticker was on it, so I used it in my journal. And this is from Dylan and Camilla, because they have these little paper bags and wrapping, and it has little doodles of all their shops in Belgium and the Netherlands. I think there might be a German one now too, but I'm not sure. But it has doodles of all the shops with the place name underneath it, so I like to cut them out and journal with them. And this was from the, let me check, Willy van der Perre expo. He's a fashion photographer, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, this was really a really big piece in the thing, but it's a pumpkin person, so obviously. And this was because I went back a couple of weeks later to see the expo with Bert, who loves photography and is a hobby photographer. And we also saw Vanessa Baird at, I think that's how you pronounce it, I'm not sure, at Museum de Rede. And we went back on the 7th of July. So yeah, that was one of the 2 times that they weren't ableist shits at the Rede. Because like last time I went, I was denied entry. Well, I was denied a carer ticket, because they were like, your museum pass is not a ticket. I was like, yeah, it absolutely is. But I have a whole video about that ableist discrimination episode, and small update on that. UNIA, the anti-discrimination office, actually they asked me about all the information that I had, like all the communication with Museumpass and with De Rede. So I forwarded everything to them, and then they were like, oh, but De Rede, they're gonna sit down with their people, so yeah, no, it's fine. And I asked them like a genuine question, like genuinely, like not to stir up drama or anything. I legit want to know. I asked them like, okay, but what if this happens again? And they basically say the same thing. Will it still be fine? Will you still say, oh no, it's fine? You know? And they flat out ghosted me. They have not responded. So basically in Belgium, the conclusion that I'm jumping to is that there are anti-discrimination laws, but when you want them enforced, you have to go file a complaint with the police and hope for the best. And then you might be taken to court and need a lawyer and whatnot. So not everybody has the financial means to do this. And with Unia, you can go to Unia and you can report it. And they'll be like, well, you know, they've said all the right things. And basically, as long as they keep saying the right things, they can discriminate all they want. So there are anti-discrimination laws, but there's also a lot of backdoors for people to ignore those laws. That's my conclusion. And I don't think I want to go back to De Rede. Because I don't want the drama. Yeah, so just mentioning that. But if you want to see the entire story of what happened, I have a video up. I will link it in the description down below. And now on to happier things, like fun pictures of my cats and pretty flowers and this cute little Totoro. It was actually part, because this is a note my friend Nina sent me that was included when I bought yarn from her, and this was on the other side, but I cut it to size and put this little cute Totoro on. And this cute sticker is by Pixel Panda, and I'm gonna cover the note. But this is another of those super cute notepads that my friend Nez gave me. So yeah, I like the spread a lot. This is like a tiny spread from when I went to visit the Aquarium Museum in Liège. It's not just an aquarium. There's an aquarium downstairs, but there's also fossils and minerals and science and stuff like early entertainment things. Like, I don't know the names of them, but I know Ghouls Night In has an episode on it. So if I remember the name before this goes up during editing, I will have it up on screen. But yeah, it's really fun. Yeah, I liked it. It's like in a very old building, so the accessibility is a bit iffy. But there was an elevator, so there was at least that. And these Stitch stamps, I got them out. They were sent to me by my friend Kate, who had made them when she was in Tokyo Disney, I believe. It says Tokyo Disney, so I'm sure it is there. And I really loved them. And I was like, yes, ephemera! And I think that's why she sent them to me, because she's also a journaler. And she has like really fun YouTube as well. So I will link her down below. And yeah, this is the flyer from the museum. I did not see a blue ringed octopus. That makes me sad. But yeah, this is all the stuff they have. And so as you can see, it's quite varied. We did not see the planetarium though. I'm not sure where they stuffed that. Or if it even was open. We didn't check because it was quite busy and it's a small museum. And I think by that time we were just really hungry and wanted to go find some place to eat. And we did. It was like a really nice small bistro where they had like pizza and stuff. So, and the staff was really, really friendly and really nice. So food was good as well. So yeah. And then the next entry is my birthday. I turned 44 last year. I am a dinosaur. And yeah, this was just like my birthday picture. I used to always have a picture with like a mug. But then I got Yorick. My skull. He's called Yorick. I know, very unoriginal. But now I just take pictures with Yorick. And this, Mike Wazowski, my friend Valentine, made me the sticker because she knows I love Monsters Inc. and especially Monsters University. So she made me the mic. And wait, I'm going to go get him. I just have to share all of these. I mean, look at this. She made this for my birthday, like I think 2 years ago. Look at him, how fun. I love him so much. And look at all the detail. And he's made out of paper mache. Look how amazing he is. And yeah, he lives in my Monsters Inc. display case. And she also made me this. This is a brooch. Look how amazing. I love it so, so much. He also lives in my display case. And then I have more Mike Wazowski stickers that I have not used. But look, the fun. I love him so much. And this is one of these. So yeah, I love these so, 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 so much. So I just had to show these to you for obvious reasons. I'm gonna leave this here. There. Because that's amazing. And I'm gonna put the other one back because I worry about getting damaged if one of the cats jumps up. And her brooches are actually really sturdy because I accidentally put one in the washing machine once and it was fine. And she told me one of her friends had done the same and that was thankfully also fine. So would not recommend putting it through the wash, but it is very well sealed and I love it. I love Mike Wazowski in Monsters University. Monsters Inc. as well, but Monsters Inc. I like Sully a little bit better than Mike, and in University vice versa. But I digress. For my birthday, we went to Schoonselhof, and it was boiling hot, so we didn't nearly see the entirety of the cemetery. Schoonselhof is a historic cemetery. You spell it like this if you want to look it up and find out more about it. And yeah, this was the very first Garter Abyss shawl I ever knit and the very first shawl I ever knit. And I wanted to have pictures taken with it on at Schoonselhof, which was not a bad plan in theory, but in reality it was just so hot that I think these were literally, I think we took like 4 pictures and I gave up. So luckily they turned out nice, at least I think they do. And then this is the flyer with like the rules and the plan of the cemetery. And as you can see, it's very, very big. There's like an old fortress here as well. And apparently in the summer there are grazing sheep, which I did not see. I did see them on the Instagram, but not in real life. And yeah, I definitely want to go back someday when the weather is actually, you know, normal nice, and just go and explore some more. And then yeah, oh yeah, by the way, you can still get buried there. You can actually even, I don't know what the rules are about it, but you can actually get buried in an existing site, an existing grave, but I don't know how it works. You'll have to look it up yourself. This is how you spell it, again. And these are just some of the grave sites. I'm just gonna quickly flip through because one of the rules is that you shouldn't publish one of the, well, you shouldn't publish the grave sites, but this is just a journal flip through, so it's a bit of a gray zone, but still I'm not taking any risks. And yeah, so this was when we went to Curtius. I went with Bert and Valentine. And it's a really fun museum in Liège. I really enjoyed it. It's really, really big. And it's in a, well, I think for the largest part, it's still the original Renaissance building, but I think a lot of it has been modernized. So not like Plantijn Moretus in Antwerp, which is still the entire Renaissance building with Renaissance garden and everything. And the Rubenshuis still has like that Baroque garden, and there's also less modernization going on. Now a bit more than it used to be, but they have their original gardens at least. But Plantijn Moretus is, I would say, 90% the original building. And with Curtius, a lot of it is still also the original building, but it's really cool because like the main section is all like history of Liège and that area, and it's going up from the era of the dinosaurs to more modern mid-century, last century, I would say. And yeah, it's super, super varied, and I really, really enjoyed it. And these were our tickets, and this was just like a random flyer. And the other building of Grand Curtius is their weapons department, because Curtius was one of the richest people in the Low Countries, which is what we now would call Belgium, Luxembourg, and the Netherlands. Well, the division of that area in that time, because he was one of the biggest arms manufacturers and dealers, potentially the biggest in Europe, and he had married into money, so he was like one of those people. So I'm just putting that out there, but it is also there was AI at the entrance of Des doing this entire spiel about Curtius's history, which I also didn't like. But so basically I hated the weapons department and I loved the other one, which was also free of AI. And they really did a lot of effort and they're still putting in more effort to make the museum as accessible as possible. So I love that as well. Just unless you're like super into war history, I would say just ignore the arms department and just go to the other one. Because the other bit is like well worth it. And now for some controversy, I was given tickets for my birthday to see Visions of Magic, the Harry Potter Expo at Tour de Taxi, and I did go. I was pretty disappointed in it because I felt like they had put the most effort in the gift shop and not as much in the expo as they should have. It was... I at this point, I don't remember what the issue was, but I remember that they had issues with accessibility, and I mentioned them in my review on Neverwas, so I will link to that down below. I do feel like the expo was a lot of good ideas and bad execution. So there's that, and at this point, even if I got free tickets, I would not go to another Harry Potter expo. I will not be purchasing anything that gives J.K. Rowling even the smallest amount of money. Just, I love the setting, but I just can't anymore. The way she's acting and keeps on acting and just keeps on going further and further and further, I can't. I mean, I just can't. I will honestly say that, I have some, well, because I used to also be a Potterhead, and I'm not gonna lie about it. People change, people evolve, that's just the way it is. I still have some items that I love, and I'm not gonna be parting with them. Like, I love my brooms, I love some of my other collection pieces. However, that said, like, mugs and stuff, I will continue to use, obviously, to drink from and, you know, use them as intended till they inevitably break. I will keep the collection pieces that I really, really love. And oh, my focus keeps on shifting. And yeah, so I will keep those pieces, and the Harry Potter clothing I have, which is not loads, I will just wear around the house till it's basically no longer a wearable garment, and then it will be rags till it falls apart. So I just won't wear them out, and I won't actively have them in videos other than like the spread, obviously. I mean, like I said, the past is the past, and I got these tickets as a birthday gift. So there is that. I know I used to be very active in the Harry Potter community, and my friends are my friends, but I will not go out of my way to be active in it. And I will definitely not purchase any Harry Potter things. I'm sure you can guess it. This is another election thing that's underneath here. But yeah, this is my Beetlejuice review spread thing. I love the movie. I had a lot of fun watching it, and well, I've only seen it once in the cinema, and I will watch it again if it shows up on streaming. But yeah, it was a good time. It was a fun romp. Was it as good as the first one? No. Were there plot holes? Yes, but it was enjoyable, and frankly, that's kind of what matters. And this is just like, that was so ridiculous, because I remember that my friends abroad had such a hard time getting the Beetlejuice Fanta, and in Belgium, I feel like it was not a hype, or at least not nearly the hype it was in other places, because I remember that Fanta Afterlife, it expired really quickly, like at the end of last year, and like right up until that point they were selling it, and they started, I think it was already end of September, early October that they were discounting them, that they were half price. And then I think by the end of their sales period, they were like maybe 70% off. It was ridiculous. But yeah, I did get it. I tried it. I have a video of that. I will link it down below. I was not impressed with the taste. I do have a full one in my collection. And I also have the can. I think the can is actually Fanta Lemon, but it also has Beetlejuice on it. But yeah, I saw that in a shop and I bought that as well. So they're just collection pieces. I did hear that the flavor is different in different countries. So I don't know what else is going on, but ours tasted like a very chemical, barely apple flavor, and it was not great. And this is from when we went to Paradise for 2 days. Paradise is a resort conservation zoo. That's the easiest way to describe it. And yeah, it's in Ath. It's in the French side of the country, in Wallonia in English. And yeah, this is just a map. Same thing as with Ypres. I cut it up. And you can see it's, I mean, the other one was double-sided. This is just literally like, I think, an ad for a annual plan for the park. But yeah, I stuck pictures to it because we went during the Halloween season, which sadly only lasts for 2 weeks. I wish they would do it throughout the entirety of October, not just the October school holiday period. But it's like really fun. They have decor everywhere. They have some entertainment, like this was, it's just the one in the picture, but it's an entire group of unicycle sheet ghost pandas, and they do this like this little dance routine and stuff. And we were staying in the main hotel building, and they were doing it right underneath my window, so that was fun. Every half an hour I could see them perform without having to go outside, which was amazing, because that was when Bert went to the wellness. Because when you have a hotel booking, you can also make a reservation for their wellness, which is like further down in the park. But I didn't feel like going, so Bert went on his own, because obviously it's not because I don't want to go that he doesn't get to go. So he went on his own, and I stayed in the hotel and rested and knit. So I would have loads of energy for the next day, and we had already like explored the park for several hours. So yeah, and this is one of their hobbit houses, which you can actually stay in. It's like a whole row, like a little street of them, and they have a view on I think brown bears and European wolves. Definitely bears and wolves. I just don't remember what kind of bear. And they also have like other characters, like roaming characters, and this, I think this was supposed to be an ent. An unofficial end, obviously, but that was really fun. They have witches and all kinds of like druidy characters. It's very, very well done, and I absolutely recommend that. And the deer are also free roaming in their own enclosed area, and you can go up to them, and I often get deer kisses, so that makes me really, really happy. And yeah, there's like, this is part of the buildings you can stay in right by the deer, and you also have view on bears. I think a different kind of brown bear. They're not actually black bears, they're brown bears. They're just very, very dark brown. But yeah, so you can also stay with view on the sea lions, which is what we did now. And then the year before last, we stayed in one of the buildings that had a view on the polar bears. So you can also have one with view on penguins or walruses. It's pretty diverse, and they have rooms for like 2 people, like 4 people, whole families. Like I think it's up to 8. This is up to 8 people, but ironically that's still Disneyland Paris prices, so maybe at one point we'll just shell out and do it, because the Hobbit houses seem like so much fun. Or maybe we'll find some friends and then do it. But yeah, it's actually reasonably priced. It's less than Disneyland Paris prices usually, and your buffet dinner is included. Your park tickets for the however many days you stay are included. So basically your breakfast is included, your dinner is included, your park tickets is included, and we also got the wellness is included, and then I think it's just like one wellness visit per stay. And some of the bigger ones, like this one, I think there's a sauna inside of them, so that's very luxurious. And you also get a ticket. This is some of the Halloween decor. Loved it. And also because I had like sheet ghost pandas, I used this little panda note that Ness gave me, and I made it like a ghost panda. Because, you know, obviously. But yeah, so we also got a ticket each for the steam train. They have an actual historic steam train that does a track in the park, and then you can see more of some of the animals that you wouldn't be able to see if you just walk through it. I think normally it's like I want to say 8 or 12 euros. It's reasonably priced for what it is, I feel, because it's quite a long ride. It's really, really fun. And yeah, this is the front of the hotel we were staying in, the paddling bear. These are some of the sea lions. This was during the feeding time. I think it's more snack time than feeding time, but yeah, of the wolves. And the Alaska wolves were actually like really sociable. They went like right up to their carers. They were just walking in the compound, and they were like really sweet to them. And them to the wolves also. I mean, let there be no mistake. I mean, there was no animal abuse. Yeah, they were feeding them bits of meat, and they had put it in a tree, so it would be more of a challenge for them to get it. And this wolf is like, nom, 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 I'm going to get it. And he did get it out of the tree like really quickly. And this is one of the park views. The decor in the park is top notch. I would say that it's easily on the same level as Disneyland Paris and Tokyo Disney Sea. And Tokyo Disney Sea is a step up from Disneyland Paris. I mean, every time I go to Disneyland Paris, and I haven't been in a while now. I think the last time we went was October 2023. But every time I go to there, after having been to Tokyo Disney Sea in 2017, I just go like, why? Tokyo Disney Sea is so much better. So next level. But yeah, I digress. This is the train ticket. It was free. It does say 5 euros, but we got this free, so I don't know why it says 5 euros. But yeah, no clue. This was the plan that we got in the hotel, because that was from our stay. And if you stay in another resort area, you get a different plan. But yeah, these were all the feeding times. We saw the sea lion feeding, and then we saw the Alaska wolf feeding. No, sorry, Canada wolves. They're not Alaska wolves. I don't know why I thought they were Alaska wolves. I was wrong. They're Canada wolves. But yeah, we saw their feeding as well. And the year prior to that, we were staying in a room with view on the polar bears. So we saw that really up close, because then basically one side of your room is glass. It's all like a big window, and water comes right by it. And so when they swim, you can see them right by your window. So yeah, basically like the only thing separating you and them is glass. And it's really, really cool. I will link down to the reel, because I have a reel of that, and it was very amazing. And yeah, this is just a very, very, very basic plan of where you can find the main buildings. Like this is the reception, and then there's where the wellness is, and then these are like the main things for your hotel, because like we had because when you stay in one of the, when you stay overnight, I'll just put it that way, you have two options for dinner, and they're either at Moki, where we went to in 2023, and which was really, really good. They're both buffets. And the other is Octopus, and Octopus is inside the paddling bear as well as the bar. But the problem was at Octopus, with all of my food allergies, because they're more like fancy, it was very hard for me to eat anything. And Moki, I had like lots of choices, so it was like, if we go again, we should definitely go somewhere where we can eat at Moki and not at Octopus, and I was telling him that I'm pretty sure, because Paradisa seems to be very, very accommodating, that I'm pretty sure, and also they do their best to be accessible. And that if I ask them to have, even if it's normally your dinner is dedicated to Octopus, I'm pretty sure that if you explain things to them that food-wise you're better off at Moki, they'll just swap it to Moki. I don't think it's a big problem. Or the other way around, if you really wanted to go to Octopus, I'm sure you can ask them to swap it around, because it's just a matter of logistics for them. Anyways, so yeah. And then, yeah, this is just a map that I had cut up. It's actually really, really big. I will show it to you. I feel like you need 2 days to see all of Paradisa, because it's just so humongous. Yeah, I really enjoy going. And they've got like dinosaurs up now. I'm not sure if they're statues or animatronics, because I've not paid that much attention. But yeah, I definitely want to go and see them. It looks like so fun. So yeah, those are new additions that came in this year. So yeah, I definitely want to go back because I really like it. And it's a lot more value for money than Disneyland Paris. That much is for sure. So yeah, this was the second day. Well, this was also the second day, but I put my tip-ins a bit weirdly. I had to put them somewhere, you know. So yeah, this is also super cute. The Halloween season, a lot of the animals are given jack-o'-lanterns, and this was one of the lemurs. The lemurs are also in a free-range zone, so them and a couple of other like type of primates, and they're all very adorable. You're not supposed to pet them, obviously, but they're super, super sociable. So I didn't pet any, full disclosure, but I'm pretty sure that a lot of people do. Because like I saw one just sit on somebody's shoulder, and all credit due to that person, because they were like, I want to pet him so badly, and they didn't. But they really wanted to. And this was a portrait picture I shot of a polar bear, and I wasn't up close to it. It was just in a good spot to take the photo, but they're like super fun. And then there's the aquarium, and the aquarium is like this building separate. And when I went in it 2 years ago, it was not crowded at all, and it was lovely. But last year it was just so full of people. You could just not move. You were stuck in a throng of people, and that is my one gripe that I had. That was just violently unsafe, because if somebody fainted or fell, it would have been and needed medical assistance. It would have been an absolute horror to get to them. So I basically went in the elevator and escaped as soon as humanly possible, because even like right into the building, you had to follow the crowd. You couldn't even go back out because it was so dense. And I really wish that Paradisa would just like have a queuing system for it, so that cannot happen again, because that is just an incident waiting to happen. And also they have now got this petting zoo, and they also had like really cool steel decor, and they had Western sheep, so cute. Also deer and goat and chickens, but Western sheep are like the smallest sheep breed, if I'm not mistaken, and they're very compact and adorable. And this was just a thing that had napkins in it, and I think maybe cutlery from when we had dinner, and I put more pictures on. This was actually somebody working there. They were handing out candy, and I loved their costumes, so I asked if we could have a picture together. And yeah, this is a picture, like the one selfie Pet and I took, because we always forget to take selfies or ask somebody to take our picture because we're forgetful like that. And this is a feather of a red ibis, a downy feather, because there's this big bird cage, basically, voyeur, and you can go in it and walk through it and exit the other side. And the ibis are everywhere. They shed everywhere. They're not the only birds in there, but they're the ones that shed feathers everywhere the most, because when we were there, they were the most on the path and just like wandering around. So I just found this feather. It was perfectly clean, just lying on the path, and I just took it home. I did not go off-roading, so to speak, and like foraging for feathers amongst, off the path. I was very good and just picked it up. Because there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think anybody will begrudge me picking up a feather that's like right in front of my feet in the path. Basically in Ibiza, I literally crossed and lost some downy feathers and I took one home. So yeah, this is just a random day out in the local woods. Apologies if you can hear a cat scream. Salem is still screaming. He knows he can come in. I don't know what he wants. But yeah, so I specifically wanted to go and take pictures of fly agrarics. And the only one I could find was this teeny tiny one. And it was half eaten by snails or slugs, but probably snails. And I was just like, why? So we went and walked around and saw some other fun mushrooms. Fly agraric in Dutch is vliegenzwam. We also saw a big porcini that was also in the process of being eaten, but you can't really see it from a picture. And we call those eekhoorntjesbrood, and which translates to squirrel bread, and vliegenzwam would translate to, I guess, fly fungus. Zwammen are more like turkey tails and stuff like that. Turkey tails are elfenbankjes, which is elf benches. So yeah, they're like just fun names. And this is from, the Afrika Museum. I've got another one here. I've just glued them together and tipped them in. And so much taxidermy, so many questionable acquisitions. And that's an extremely polite way of saying so many stolen bits and bobs. So many stolen masks. They had an expo on talking about the ethics of acquiring things for museums and having things in museums, and it was very small, and kudos to them for doing it. And it's big talk, but the first time I went to that museum was in the 80s, and now nearly 20 years later the exact same masks were still there. So I'm just like, maybe try a little bit harder. I'm sure they are doing some effort. I saw a lot of contemporary art which was properly commissioned, or at least that's what the plaque said. But why would they lie about that? African artists. So it's clearly that they're making steps for full ethnicity, but I feel like it's going mighty slow. And also, why were there so many dead animals in there? Like, not even like really old ones, but things like recent taxidermy. And I'm just like, at that point in time, 20 years ago, you knew better, 40 years ago, you also knew better. You had cameras. You could properly document these animals without killing 20 of them, so to speak, So I will not be going back. Lunch in their restaurant upstairs was alright. I had a burger, Beth had pasta, was fine. And then the good part was there was a park really nearby, and they had really fun mushrooms, like these guys growing on a tree. That was fun. I never seen these. I don't know what they are. If you know, please tell me in the comments down below. And then I saw some shaggy ink caps, which was also fun because I had never seen any ink caps in real life, so that was fun. And then it was Comic-Con Brussels again, because it's twice a year, and whenever I stop needing the program, well, I take it home with me and then I cut it up so I can make these little bits. I have one for Comic-Con Holland as well, and then I can stick pictures on the back, and lots of fun. This is Zia who made this sticker, and this is Jess from Tulip Art Cafe. This was a dancing Evie, dancing to a song and just dance. I met Matt Ryan, who plays Constantine. I love Constantine so much. That show was so good. so good. I still don't understand why it was cancelled after just one season, because quality-wise, I mean, I will die on this hill. That was the best show DC has ever done. End of story. Why the hell did Arrow go on for so many seasons and Constantine didn't? I will never understand. We had delicious mushroom dish for lunch, some cool cosplays or costumes, I'm not sure. Bert in a TIE fighter, Veerle with my, I don't know what it is. It's like a cardigan and cape cross, but it's a very cool garment, and she did think so as well. Yeah, so me and some friends, me and Veerle, Valentin and I trying to take a ridiculous selfie with Pennywise, and I apologize to people with coulrophobia. But yeah, Valentin like made like an actual art piece of it afterwards, and just like it was so fun. It was such a good time. I ended up asking Xavier to take a picture with my giant camera and he did. But yeah, and this is like, I'll just hold my hand like this so people who hate clowns don't have to see him anymore. I'll put it over Karen, who's dressed like what is the girl from the Terrifier movies, like the little clown girl? I forgot her name. I have known this at some point, but I forgot. But yeah, so there is a fake vintage photo booth. There's like a modern camera in it, but it's like printed kind of like an old-timey photo booth. And it does 3 different pictures. And it does have like the 4 parts, so to speak, is just like saying that it's from the food court in the Gare Maritime. But I just got that off because it took up like lots of space for no reason, and I just wanted this, and we were just like taking really stupid pictures in a photo booth, not actually made for 2 people, but we just like, we had to. We should do it again next Comic-Con Brussels. I don't know why we didn't do it this time, but we should do it again. But yeah, this was my Halloween spread. I was actually really poorly the days leading, the days in between Comic-Con Brussels, which was, did I write down the date? I don't think I wrote down the date, but it was at the end of October in any case. Oh no, it was in November? Surely not, because... Was it November? No, it was before Halloween, so it must have been end of October. Must have been, because I went to Heltopia on November 1st. And it was the weekend before Heltopia, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, between Comic-Con Brussels and Halloween, I was really poorly. I was really sick. And then, this is why I have this here. Like the super cozy ghost. And this spread I made together while video chatting with my friend Ness, and she was doing a spread and I was doing a spread, and it was so fun. Ness, if you're watching this, we need to do that again because it was so fun. Why is this not a regular thing? Why aren't we doing this regularly? We must do it more. But yeah, I like how the spread came out. So even though I was hella sick when I made it, I still like how it came out, especially this part of it is really cute. At least I think so. And this was, at this point, my journal was coming apart. It was exploding. What I always do is I take an insert, the MD paper one, and then I fold it open up the staples and take out half of the pages, and for the other half I will make a cover like this one. I have one right here. I will make a cover out of cereal boxes. Like literally like this, and I will just sew it, and it doesn't look the greatest, but it works. Also, this is, I've not done a flip through of this either, but I still have to finish some pages. I have the pictures, but I've never edited them or printed them, so there is that. One point in time I will sort it out, but probably not anywhere near now. So at this point it was unmanageable to journal in it properly, so I did Halloween and I did October because I wanted them to be in one place and then start a new one for November 2024. And yeah, so this was Halloween, actual Halloween on Halloween day, which was a Thursday. in my town, which was amazing. They had never done it before. It was crazy chaotic though. It was, kids were allowed to go trick-or-treat in stores, but it wasn't clear which stores were participating and which stores weren't. So it was chaos. And also a lot of people weren't as mindful of their surroundings as they should have been. So that was slightly problematic, and I really hope they do it again and have learned from it. I got 2 sets of trick-or-treaters this year at my house, which was great. I always have, I mean, people can come trick-or-treat here. I don't care about their age, but yeah, it's not really a thing in Belgium, so this was a big deal. And I went with my mother-in-law and my nephew, but I've blurred them out for privacy reasons, which is why this washi is in this picture. But yeah, they had roaming characters. That was really, really cool. And like lots of people were dressed up, not just children. Lots of people were wearing like Halloween themed outfits and stuff. It was awesome. It was awesome. I hope they do it again. And then this is just a very basic October spread because my journal was coming apart and I still have this much left, but I just gave up because that was just too much and it couldn't cope anymore. So I was like, I know when I'm beat. And yeah, that was it. Over to the knitting update for WIP Wednesday. I am very poorly today, so I'm just gonna film on my bed. Yeah, so for WIP Wednesday, I have absolutely zero progress on the Gandalf arm warmers on the tiniest needles. I have zero issue with the tiniest needles, but I have been knitting on other stuff, so this just didn't happen. Yesterday, I did finally knit 2 more straps to go on that Hedwig top I finished in February. Originally, I had put an I-cord because the back was super floppy because I got the completely wrong. See what I mean? So the problem is the pattern asks for cotton yarn, but I didn't have any cotton. And I saw this Fildar Rustique, I think it's called Fil Rustique, and I really loved the color. And it's cotton, linen, and something synthetic. But so the back was extremely droopy. And originally I had put in an I-cord and had like proper straps in the front and the I-cord in the back, which I kind of hated and I never wore it. So yesterday I knit 2 back straps, just sewed them on, and now it closes with a tie because I have an issue where everything slides off my shoulder strap wise, so this way it stays up better. And I've left the I-cord in to give the back some more stability and just give it like a little visual element. And yeah, next time I knit this, because I do quite like the pattern, it's by Fable Knitwear. Next time I knit it, I will do it out of a cotton and not mess with extremely floofy, drapey fabrics like I did this time. But at least it's now wearable. So yeah, there's that. And then finally the thing I've been knitting on the most, the rainbow shawl. There's not that much to show yet, I feel. I mean, there's more to show than last time, because last time I had like 1 section done, and now I've got loads more done, and it's got a few color changes in. And I put in some of that Hobbii Candy Pop to just make it a little bit more cheerful, because otherwise it's just such a giant block of the pink. I don't know if I want to put in more Candy Pop or not, because at this point the color changes are going a little bit faster. Yeah, I still despise this yarn. I did figure out that I did not read the description on the site properly, and it comes as unplied yarn, which is just for the quality of the cotton. Just, it's so double, because they're like, this is, from what I can gather, the only rainbow pastel or otherwise yarn that you can get on the Hobbii website. That is like this kind of color fade, so ideal for a shawl. But I think that next time I want to do is, this is not the worst cotton. It's not the softest, but it's also not rough. So next time I want to do a rainbow shawl, I think I might just get 6 skeins of Yawool or like a nice cotton and just do it myself with color changes that way. I think that will be way, way, way better than this, because I'm kind of not into this. which is, I mean, I'm gonna finish the shawl and then make my decision, but my friend Jess already said that this was the most magical yarn, so if I end up not liking the shawl, I know who's going to get the shawl. Jess, you are warned if you watch this. This may become yours. I might like it when it's finished, but yeah, so onwards with this project. And my final project is a second sleeve from the sleeve scarf. As you can see, not many rows in at all yet. This is what I take along to physical therapy and cafe knitting. So it's slow going, and this is on shorty needles. So shorter needles and a 40 centimeter cable for stuff like sleeves. Very practical. So yeah, that's it. That's everything I have for this WIP Wednesday.